One can be mentally ill and not later be intentionally bad. I'm not proud of my desire to kill. I'm not proud of what I like to do with a body as I end a life, but it's what I do. Someone just said all God wants is for us to be the best at what we are. Did he include serial murderers? If so, I am the best at that as far as I know. So God might be pleased. Because of the, shall we call them skills I acquired, with the many years of stalking, hunting, securing, and then killing others, I was able to delay this new and inevitable ailment when I should already have turned. And because of my prior so-called skills, I can now tell this story. I was bitten just a few days ago. So, I'm just turning now. Actually, since no zombie is very articulate, I can't say what it will be like. And until that happens, I'll keep telling my tale. After the initial pain of the bite, I was okay for a few days. Actually, a lot of days. I stayed inside hiding for a while. I thought maybe I was different and hoped I would stay that way. I eventually found an effective way to disguise myself so I could finally go outside. I didn't want to risk another bite. Zombies don't go after each other, as you probably know. I'll tell you how I did that later. For now, I should get through my childhood stuff. A lot of people think that's important in a memoir. So here are the boring things about my childhood. A rich kid's version. I had all the toys I could want. I played sports to get along. I was bright in school and never had to study much. Other than to say I realized I wanted to kill someone when I was about 16. In fact, I did. An accident, effectively, but it turned me on. I didn't do the weird childhood stuff. I wasn't a young Dahmer. I didn't pick up roadkill and dissect it like he did. I also never tortured animals. Hell, I didn't even like pulling wings off flies. I did have a friend who did that, though. His name was Barry. And when we were old enough, we'd go out drinking. Actually, we were underage, but no one seemed to mind. My dad was rich, remember? One night, this guy at the bar really annoyed me. I was in pretty good shape, so when we got into a tussle in the woods behind the bar, it led to some punching and similar acts of violence. I knocked the guy out. That wouldn't have killed him, but hitting his head on a rock did. I pulled this boy, the now dead one, deeper into the woods. I hoped hard, like you can still do when you're only 16, that no one would figure out I did it. No one had seen me leave the bar. Barry had already left too. But in those cop shows, they always interview people and eventually find out who the murderer was. So I thought they'd eventually get to me. For a few nights after it happened, I'd lay in my bed at night, expecting the cops to show up at my door, or at the gate. You see, my parents were rich. We lived in a big house, really big, with a lot of lawn, over an acre in fact, and a big gate and fence to enclose it, to keep it safe, from bad guys like me, I guess. But they never showed up. I guess real life isn't like those cop shows. So I didn't go to jail. The problem was I couldn't get over the thrill I experienced in killing someone, even accidentally. It triggered something in me. Maybe genetic, predisposition. Dahmer once said that if he, when 16, hadn't accidentally killed the 18-year-old hitchhiker, he wouldn't have become the serial murderer he became. I could tell you more about me, going into detail about my second killing, and then the next, and the next, and how I got away with it. But then there wouldn't be time to tell you about the bigger story, the one worth telling, the zombie apocalypse, which effectively and eventually turns everyone into a serial murderer. But I'm really exhausted now. This infection tires you out, and fast. But funny, once you've completely turned, you have the energy of an entire football team, and a very young one. So I'll get back to you soon. Stay tuned, as they used to say.